Hi there, Math Doc here, and we're still talking about factoring, and we're looking at all the techniques and tricks for factoring and for working with polynomials. And here we're going to look at one example really, which is the square of a binomial, which is very useful for factoring of polynomials. So what we see here is a binomial squared. A binomial is basically two terms, right, and it's squared. And let's show what happens when we square a plus b squared. Well, when we square a term, we're taking a plus b times a plus b. We're squaring it. And the distributive rule tells us how to open these parentheses. And in this playlist for factoring, you can check out video also for the distributive rule because it helps to remind us what that means. So when we open these parentheses, we have to make sure to count all the terms. So we multiply a here by the first term a here, so we have equals a times a. Our second term in this multiplication will be a times b, so that's plus a times b. Our third term here, now we go to the b terms here, so it's b times a, again, plus b times a. And our third term is b times b. Fourth term, sorry, is b times b. So now let's simplify this a little. What is this equal to? Well, the first term here is a squared, right? A times a. The second term is ab, right? A times b. Now here in this third term, we're going to switch the order because we're allowed to do that in a simple multiplication. So we'll write it again as a times b. And our fourth term is b squared. Now we can take these two terms. They're similar, so we can group them together. And we get a squared plus 2ab's, right? Because we have this one and this one, plus b squared. And this is exactly what we have in this formula. So this is a good formula to remember, but it's also pretty easy to develop if you remember how to use the distributive property. Again, if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. What happens if we have a minus b squared? Well, we get something very similar. Let's do it. We have a minus b times, again, a minus b. And that equals, let's do this all over again. So we have our first term, which is a times a, right? Our second term is a times negative b here. So we have plus a times negative b. What is our third term? Our third term is negative b times a. So that is negative b times a. And finally, our fourth term is negative b times negative b. So we have minus b times negative b. Again, let's make some order here in the terms. So we have our a squared term here. Now because of this negative here, we have negative or minus a times b. Again, we can change the order here from b times a to a times b. So we have, again, a times b. And then finally, we have negative times negative, so that's a positive b squared. So our total is a squared. We have twice negative ab plus b squared. So we can really write our formula as a plus minus b. Okay, so we can either have plus or minus equals a squared plus minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, and that's sort of a general formula for a binomial squared. Now let's make use of this in a simple quadratic expression Okay, when I say quadratic, I mean that there's an x squared term. So let's look at 4x squared plus 16x plus 12. Okay, and we're going to say that in this, that we want this to be equal to 0. How do we solve this? Well, let's try to use what we've learned. So we have here 4x squared. What could that be? Well, let's write this in parentheses as 2x squared, right? 4x squared is 2x in parentheses squared. What is 16x? Well, we want to write it as something like 2 times 2x. That is because that way we get our factor of 2 here, right? And we have our 2x here, so that's our a. Our a is 2x, so this should be 2 times a times b. So what can our b, our b be? Well, our b has to be, since 2 times 2 is 4 and we want to get to 16, our b has to be 4, right? So now we have b equals 4. So now if we write 2x plus 4 squared, we know that we get 2x squared. We know that we get 2 times 2x times 4, and we should have also 4 squared. But 4 squared is 16, and we have 12, right? So that is actually 16 minus 4, right? 12 is 16 minus 4. So now let's write out our equation again using what we did in red here. I'm going to write it out in blue. So we have 2x squared. We have plus 2 times 2x times 4 plus 16 I'm going to write as 4 squared minus 4 equals 0. Okay, what will be our next step? So we know what this looks like, right? It looks like a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, right? So we have 2x plus 4 squared, right? Because a is 2x, b is 4, so we have 2x plus b squared minus 4 equals 0. Okay, now let's add 2 to both sides of this equation. I mean 4, sorry. Let's add 4 to both sides of the equation, and we get 2x plus 4 squared equals 4. Okay, now that means that our 2x plus 4 is equal to a number that when we square it equals 4. Well, 4 is also 2 squared, but it also can be minus 2 squared. And all this will be reviewed when we talk about quadratic equations. This is just to show you how useful it is to use the square form of a binomial. So what does that mean? It means that 2x plus 4 may be equal to 2, or 2x plus 4 equals negative 2. So now we can take these two equations and solve them because we know how to do that, right? This is simple. So 2x plus 4 equals 2. We will subtract 4 from both sides and we get 2x equals negative 2, or x equals negative 1. And for this one here, we have 2x plus 4 equals negative 2. Let's subtract 4, and we get 2x equals negative 6, or x equals negative 3. So this was kind of quick, but the idea really was to see how easy it is to solve equations if we're able to translate them into a form like this one, which is more compact. So thanks for joining me for this video for the square of a binomial. Check out the other videos that will help you with all the factoring work. They're all in the same playlist. See you next time.